This is 7 News.
Tonight, Kevin Rudd's Asylum crackdown. Boat people banished to PNG.
Exclusive, the little Perth boy who saved his father's life with a phone call.
And a soccer superstar's advice to the AFL on racism in sport.
The result sometimes is the biggest kick in the teeth for these people, and it makes you play harder and stronger.
From the studios of 7 Perth, Rick Ardon and Susannah Carr.
Good evening. Any asylum seeker who tries to reach Australia from now on will be sent to Papua New Guinea in a deal brokered by Kevin Rudd. The Prime Minister says this will send the strongest message to boat people that Australia is no longer a destination. The crackdown was announced just hours after a boat was intercepted near an oil and gas operation off Dampier in the state's northwest.
The death of a little Perth boy in a washing machine will remain a mystery after the coroner found up to 3 separate scenarios could have led to the tragedy. Alastair Hope said while he couldn't conclude the 3-year-old's mother caused his death, he couldn't rule it out either. Amelia Brune reports.
You're about to hear the incredible 000 call made by a little Perth boy who saved his father's life. Ethan Ribeiro was just 4 years old, but he called for help and kept his father's airways open until paramedics arrived. Chantel Tui reports.
What a great kid. Perth workers are facing the axe over government moves to plug a budget black hole due to the carbon tax being dumped. Car leasing businesses across Australia say sudden changes to the fringe benefits tax will send them broke. Kate Smithers reports.
A Perth man has been charged with the murder of his de facto partner almost a year after she died. Robert Jeffrey Anderson is accused of the shooting death of Faya Lightfoot, who was found dead in her Wanneroo home in August last year. Police say at the time Anderson told them she shot herself. The 57-year-old will remain in custody until his next court appearance at the end of this month.
A fire in a city office tower has caused up to $1.5 million damage. Investigators believe the blaze was sparked by an electric heater left under a desk. Grant Taylor reports.
7 News can reveal an off-duty police officer was among 5 people injured in a bar brawl in the city. A 21-year-old man caught up in the violence has described the moment he was bashed unconscious with a metal bar stool. Alexis Donkin reports.
It's taken a sporting hero from the world's biggest soccer club, Manchester United, for AFL champion Adam Goodes to open up about being racially abused. 7 News was there when Goodes met superstar Rio Ferdinand and received some valuable advice.
Up next, Perth parents come face to face with the driver who killed their little boy.
Plus, sugar shock. How giving up soft drink helped a Perth mum lose 20 kilos.
And royal doubts. Have the world's media got the wrong hospital?
Features, fashion, food, reviews and more. The Weekend West.
In 7's Money Watch, the share market has followed a negative lead from Asia, ending the week with a fall. The ASX 200 was down 21 points. Shares in explosives and chemical supplier Orica slumped after it downgraded its full-year profit forecast. $1 Australian is buying 91 US cents and 60 British pence.
The parents of a Perth baby who was killed after a drunk driver ploughed into his bedroom have come face to face with their son's killer. 8-month-old Nate Dunbar was asleep inside his Merriwa home when Melissa Ann Waters drove into the house in January. The 35-year-old made a brief appearance in the district court today. It was the first time Nate's family had seen her since the night she killed their son.
You have your good days and your bad, but yeah, you just kind of have to keep putting one foot in front of the other and soldiering on.
Melissa Waters will be sentenced in September.
Health experts say too many of us are consuming excess calories without realising it, and they blame soft drinks. It's claimed a can a day over a year adds more than 6 kilos. But the Beverage Council says singling out sugary drinks is unfair and not enough people exercise.
The royal baby guessing game has shifted from the due date to the location of the hospital. After an anxious week, media crews are now second-guessing if they're even in the right place. Mike Amor reports from St Mary's in London.
Mike Amor in London. And the Ash is also big news in England, Barra.
Oh, sure is, Sue. Second test highlights coming up, plus a star docker in doubt as the Queen meets our cricketers. The royal treatment as Steve Smith sends England's tail into a spin.
Smith, he's got another.
And breaking point, tempers flare at the British Open.
Oh dear.
7 News is taking the pulse of Perth. Our northern suburbs in the spotlight.
We've underestimated the growth of the northern suburbs.
Your issues. What matters to you? Congestion, housing, jobs.
Joondalup's population explosion.
Special report starting Sunday on 7 News.
Now, Fuel Watch. Perth's petrol prices. Brought to you by Fuel Watch and 7 News.
Hello, Blake Johnson with you. Another cold one this morning, though not quite as bad as yesterday. We've got a couple more to get through before the mornings are a touch warmer. The good news is, though, we've got a pretty clear and mostly sunny weekend ahead. Right now in the city, it's 13.4 and the wind is east-southeasterly at 7 kilometres an hour. Humidity is at 51%. There's that minimum this morning, down to 3.7, but it was in the middle of the night. We got to 17.1 shortly before 2 this afternoon. Around the metro area, a couple of cold spots. Gin got down to 0, 1 degree in Bullsbrook and Northam. Kalamunda and Serpentine had a top of just 13. Looking a little bit wider, there wasn't much rain around, just a touch in Esperance, 21 degrees in Carnarvon, 16 in Bunbury and 14 in Kalgoorlie, Esperance and Albany. Tomorrow, morning frost and partly cloudy in Kalgoorlie with a top of 14, showers in Albany and Esperance, Geraldton sunny and 19, a windy day in Karratha. On the chart, a strong high pressure system is moving to the south of the state and then over to southeastern parts across the weekend, and it's pushing the wind in the northern half in a northeasterly direction. Interstate tomorrow, showers for a number of places: Brisbane, Canberra, Adelaide, Melbourne and Hobart, Sydney sunny and 18. On local waters, winds will be easterly. They'll start out at 10 to 15 knots and then pick up in the morning. The seas around 1 metre on a southwesterly swell to 3 metres. To the weekend forecast, a cool night ahead, down to 4 tonight and then up to 17 tomorrow with a mostly fine day, maybe a couple of clouds around. There'll be a bit of morning frost in the hills with an easterly wind. Sunday, almost identical, again down to 4, then up to 17. Monday, sunny, 20, and then we'll probably see some rain return by Tuesday next week. Have a great weekend. Here are Rick and Sue.
Thanks, Blake. That's all from 7 News for now.
Thanks for joining us. We'll have updates later in the evening. Now here's Today Tonight with Tina Bernard.
7 News, the pulse of Perth.